Welcome to the WIHS Journal. On today's broadcast, I'll be talking to a spokesman from Focus on the Family and their new free resource for families. It's called Back to School for Parents. On the phone line with us today, we'll have all the details. Well, today on the phone line, we have Jeff Johnston from Focus on the Family. He's the cultural policy analyst, and he's a writer for the Daily Citizen for Focus on the Family. And today we'll be talking about new resources. We know as parents, we know a lot goes on in the school that we don't like. But so, Jeff, thank you for being with us on the broadcast. So before I go in with everything, maybe just give a brief background on yourself.
First of all, thanks for having me on the broadcast. And as far as background about myself, I grew up in the church in San Diego, California. And then all through my younger years, my teens and 20s, struggled with some sexual and relational issues. I was struggling with homosexuality. Finally, I got some help for that in my late 20s and began a journey out of homosexuality. And I've been married now for almost 30 years, and I've got 3 boys. And Focus on the Family hired me, first of all, to tell a little bit of my story about leaving homosexuality, but also to teach and research and write about social and political issues. And that's what I've done here with our Back to School for Parents guide. We've created this guide to help parents when they find out that schools are teaching their kids things that are inappropriate or that they're denying them religious freedom. It covers all kinds of issues. So we're really happy to present this new resource.
Absolutely. And what a phenomenal testimony. You and I kind of almost share a similar testimony, but we thank God that, that the Son has set you free. And who the Son sets free is free indeed. So what an amazing,
That's right.
Yeah, amazing testimony. So, this resource guide, tell us a little bit what's in it and how does it help parents?
Well, it's 120 pages. It's downloadable and it's free at thedailycitizen.org. And it's called Back to School for Parents. And we've been watching the culture for a lot of years here, and we've noticed that there are many trends happening in schools that a lot of conservative and Christian parents are alarmed and concerned about. For example, your school might have a health clinic that can dispense contraceptives or even take kids for an abortion without parents even knowing about it. Or you might have a boy who thinks he's a girl and wants to use the girls' locker rooms and bathrooms and play on the girls' sports teams. And parents don't often have the resources to know what to do about it when they find situations like that in the public schools. So we have 9 different sections in our guide here, and we give guidance about talking to your children about the issues, about advocating for your children and protecting them, about your rights and your children's rights so that you know when something like that happens, you're prepared when you go to talk to teachers and school administrators when something like these things happen.
Wow. So you're telling me that my daughter can decide she wants to be a man and she can get help behind our back?
Depending on your state, we've got a list of states where that's possible. And the school counseling office might even help some kids move in that direction. The school might say it's your daughter and she decides, she says to somebody she wanted to be a boy. The school might help push her that direction. And it might even be their policy not to talk to parents about it. So yes, we're finding all these kinds of issues in different schools across the country where parents are concerned, and we get letters and emails every day, and we wanted to have something that gave parents some guidance for beginning to deal with these issues in public schools.
Wow. Well, if you're just tuning in, this is Jeff Johnston from Focus on the Family talking about a free resource that he created called Back to School for Parents, and your amazing testimony about being delivered from homosexuality. Do you think you have more of a passion to help parents and even children who, are struggling with issues of transgenderism or homosexuality?
I think so, because of my background and because of some of the identity questions that I struggled with. There weren't a lot of resources available back in the 60s and 70s when I was growing up. And so we've worked hard here at Focus on the Family to create resources for parents especially to help them deal with these issues. And within this resource, Back to School for Parents, there's links to all kinds of books and free downloads and articles depending on what the different issue is that can help parents along.
That's great. If there's someone listening right now, I know I have family members who are gay, who are living as, they're married. They're actually two girls that are married with each other. And we have someone who's listening and that maybe they know a daughter or a son who's struggling in that lifestyle. They're struggling with their decision. What kind of advice can you give to parents?
Well, we usually tell parents a couple different things. One is to get some help for yourself, get informed about the issue, make sure that you have people around you that are praying for you and your family member. We also encourage parents to maintain relationship with the child or another family member that's wrestling with these issues. And then last of all, we have a free helpline where people can call for a consultation and get directed towards even more resources. They just need to call 1-855-771-HELP. That's 1-855-771-HELP. And a counselor or a pastoral counselor at Focus on the Family will be able to talk with you and guide you, give you some easy steps to take when you're dealing with these difficult issues.
What would you say was your catalyst in, your transformation of coming out of homosexuality?
Well, I had grown up in the church, and I was a believer from a very young age. So even though I was really struggling with these issues and with, wanting to look at pornography and other things like that, I also really wanted to follow Jesus. I wanted a family, and I believed what the Bible said, that God made us male and female in His image, and that He designed marriage to be between a husband and wife. And so I wanted to follow Christ, but was finding it difficult because I was struggling so much with sin. And as I said, in my late 20s, I began to find that there were groups out there that were helping people walk out of homosexuality. It didn't mean you necessarily did a 180 from gay to straight or something like that, but it did mean that you could find support and resources to help you live in line with your faith. And that's what I wanted. Even if I never changed, I wanted help to live according to my deepest beliefs, and I wanted to follow Jesus even if these feelings never went away. And I was able to find that support through different groups and books and all kinds of resources. And as I said, at Focus on the Family, we've got a number of resources listed, and people can call and get help for those.
Absolutely. Well, Jeff Johnston, again, thank you for creating this pamphlet for parents. It's called Back to School for Parents. What kind of feedback have you gotten from this pamphlet? Has it been beneficial for others?
Yes, we've had, so far, thousands of people have downloaded it. And the moment we put it out there and let radio stations and news outlets know about it, we started getting requests for interviews, and our friends at Family Policy Alliance, who helped create the resource with us, they also started getting interviews and stories written about the resource. So it seems to be really touching a nerve and helping people, because there are so many issues, as we said, in public schools today and even private schools. And so we've needed a resource like this for a long time. And I'm just really proud of the folks that helped put together Back to School for Parents.
Yeah. So tell us tell our listeners how they can get it.
Well, go to thedailyscitizen.org. Again, that's thedailyscitizen.org. And just do a search for Back to School for Parents, and you'll find links to the resource where you can download it for free. And it's got more than 120 pages of helpful information for parents.
Once again, that was Jeff Johnston from Focus on the Family, sharing all the information about his amazing testimony from homosexuality, and also the free guide offered by Focus on the Family called Back to School for Parents. For more details, call WIHS at 860-346-1049. The opinions expressed are those of the participants, not necessarily those of a staff and management of a station. I'm Anissa Porticelli for News and Public Affairs.